live in Johannesburg. I do things that I believe need to be done. I work as a social activist, and I love art. I love the messages it brings to me. And your movie, this film, One Day Ahead of Democracy, it is a bomb. It's a big bomb. And it resonated with me because it made me understand that back home we are not alone. There are people experiencing struggles, similar struggles all over this world. And much love to you for bringing this message out. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm thinking, there's no power out there that can basically dominate the power of what's natural in this space and the people who live in this space. So power to you. Where I come from, they say Amandla. It is Amandla means power, and power and love to you. Thank you.
And tell me one thing, what is your take on legalization of cannabis?
I think to start off, we must decriminalize cannabis. I mean, I don't know who came up with these laws in the first place, because they don't help us. I've seen in my own home and where I live, how cannabis helps for all sorts of things, from relaxing after a day at work to assisting the elders with diseases, assisting the young people with chest problems. So whoever's wanting to kind of criminalize ganja, I think they have it fundamentally wrong, because there's just no way that they can overpower a force that is so powerful. I don't know why they even begin to fight nature. They're crazy. They're crazy.
And what is your take on democracy and voting?
I'm curious right now about that. I think I'm in a space of curiosity. I live in a very young democracy, 18 years old. So we're still a bubba, you know? We're still having to mature. But I think in some way it assists in the emotional feeling of feeling empowered. But as the film also illustrates, it alienates us, it divides us. It has the potential to do those things. So I think if we can just do things as creative people, we won't have to really worry about democracy at the end of the day. We just have to be democratic in how we live and within our beings, and I think that's cool. I think that's the way we need to go. We need to connect, we need to keep the energy going. We need to keep a progressive energy going. And I think we're on the right track in terms of doing that, just sitting here, you know, talking about this movie. Having watched the film, having watched Bomb this afternoon, you know, the cinematography, the content, the people in the film. I mean, there were people, I think the one man was like over 100 years old. And like he's issuing wisdom with like this smile on his face. That he just knew there was like this natural intelligence that this guy knows, that this guy, that, you know, the powers that be will never win, you know. He doesn't even know why they have that mindset of there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser, when all he knows in his context for thousands of years they have been so at peace and loving in how, I think they use the word loving in the film as well. They've been so at peace with how they've lived, and politics can't erase that spirit, and it can't erase that consciousness. I don't believe that it can ever do that. What comes out for me in the film is this expression of being human, of humanness, of reciprocity, of living at peace with probably such a rich land, you know, the mountaintops there, the slopes where all of the good things have been growing. And no force can get rid of that, you know, no force.
What do you think, I mean, you must be also thinking that Kekri should be released, the girl who's in jail?
Definitely. I mean, I don't know the laws of the country here, but if my sense is whatever is perceived to be a crime, it wasn't violent in the first instance. It was a scenario where what she's doing, it's there to feed her family. And yes, under the conditions, it comes with a high risk because of silly laws that are in place, and laws that are quite young to what the situation actually is. That's another thing. So those laws also need to be put on their place, or they need to change, and that's going to take probably movies like this kind of contribute to that. But I don't think she should be.
Hold it with you. Hold the film.
Okay, I don't think. I mean, why is she in jail? There's no need for her to be in jail. You know, she hasn't hurt anyone. Why on earth do you have to go to jail for that? So I think they'll do well, and maybe, I mean, if this kind of film can play all over the world, maybe there is a possibility of applying pressure to those authorities to release people like that, you know. Because, you know, sometimes we have this vision that authorities who do silly things like this and who cause destruction in other people's lives, my sense is that one day they might wake up if they're lucky and look back, and maybe they'll be looking back on the destruction that they've brought about. And just maybe there'll be like this phenomenal moment where they'll humble themselves to just the positive energy that's out there, you know. Because I think they're caught up in a lot of fear. They're afraid of like what weed can do to your thoughts and like how creative you can be with weed when you smoke.